Hello, party people. So welcome to the party. Hope you're having a good time. Yesterday I talked to you about why I joined Jamberry. Today I'm going to show you how I like to put on wraps. It's a little bit different from what you see in the official application video because over time, the last year of putting them on, I've figured out some jam hacks, if you will, that work better for me. Also, I want to take this opportunity to talk to you guys about the wraps I put on yesterday, right? So I showed you Color Me Mini, which I put on yesterday, and I covered it with a coat, a very thin coat of our top coat, our clear top coat as well, because when I know that I'm going to be really hard on my hands, sometimes I do that, or I put some True Shine gel on top to kind of seal it in. So both of the kids had multiple diaper blowouts today. I also cooked with raw chicken and raw pork, made two separate meals today, and I took a bath this morning. So my hands were in water and soap and or submerged in water many times throughout the day, and as you can see, they still look pretty phenomenal. I got one chip on the polish there, but the wraps themselves are completely intact. No peeling, no buckling. If you can tell, like there's a millimeter on the end where the wrap doesn't go out all the way to the end, I do that intentionally so I can get a good seal around the tip, because I find that if I don't do that, then they'll peel up on the end. So that's kind of my hack for that. But for those of you who are concerned about being hard on your hands and will the wraps hold up in your day-to-day life? The answer is yes. It's about probably 20 hand washes and a submersion in water today. So I'm going to show you how I put on wraps. What I have today is, this is the March Sisters Style Exclusive, meaning it's April now, so you can't buy this one anymore. It's called Color Crush, and I do have some of this to give away as a gift, since you can't get it anymore, as a party gift. So you'll see this later as a prize for one of our contests. So here is how I put these on. So I have really small nails, right? So for me, the thumb is actually this one. That's the one I use for my thumb. And if you hear a little rumbling noise in the background, that's my mini heater. It's actually really quiet, but I don't know if you can hear it on the computer or not. So for my setup, I have my wraps. I have a buffer block. I have a little rubber cuticle pusher, but the wooden orange stick works fine too. I also have cuticle scissors. You can use a file. You can use clippers, but that's what I use. I like the mini heater because it's got a little kickstand. It sits right here next to me on the table, and that's kind of how that works. So this is what I do. So I take the wrap that I want, and like I said, I have really tiny nails, so for my thumb, I'm actually starting right there. So then you get the cuticle scissors. I cut it in a little less than half because I've done this plenty of times, and I know that that's the one that fits me. I previously already alcohol prepped my hands and gave it a second for that to evaporate. So I like to buff the surface of my nail first. It kind of roughens it up a little bit and gives it something to grab onto. So then I do a cold application 100% of the time because I'm kind of a perfectionist. I like for it to look really good. And once the adhesive has been activated by heat or pressure and you touch it on your nail, if you pull it off, it will rip off part of the nail plate itself. And then it looks yucky and your nail is thin, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to rip your nail off. So, but before you've heated it up and applied pressure to it, then you can move around if you want to. So, now you see what I've done here is I lined up the round end with my cuticle just like that. And there's the edge of my nail. There is some hanging off there. And then I kind of look at it. Am I happy with that? You want to make sure that it's not touching your cuticle or the skin itself, because if you get any skin oil in there, it's going to deactivate the adhesive and it's going to come off. even if you do everything else right. So my cuticles are fairly out of the way anyways because I do this every week, and so I don't usually have to adjust my cuticles. But if this is your first time, or if you have really unruly cuticles, then you're going to want to push your cuticles out of the way. Or if you have really square cuticles at the bottom, then you can push them out of the way and make them more round. Then I just put it in front of the mini heater. How long, you say? Well, I don't know if you can see the tip of it just curled up like that. That's when you know how long, because the consistency of the wrap changes. And then you apply pressure. I usually do it with my hand, but you can also do it with the cuticle pusher. Now I'm doing this on my non-dominant hand, right? So that's really awkward and hard for me to do. So it's easier for me to just heat and push with my other hand. Then take the cuticle scissors. This is always super awkward on the non-dominant hand, but you get better with time. And then you trim. Now the application video recommends that you file it down, but I don't love the feeling of nail files. It's kind of like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. It's a sensory thing. So rarely ever do I file unless I make a mistake. And then I need to, just to touch it up and make it look nice. And then you heat it and press again. And then, ta-da! Gorgeous.